Sup, guys.
This guy.
Yeah. Do we really need that, hey, we're talking board games, I'm Ben, you're Tommy type thing?
Yeah, Joe is probably watching us for the first time.
But shouldn't Joe, go back and watch old videos to know that? What about Bob, who's been watching for, the last 2 months?
I apologize, Bob. You'll never know who we are from this point on.
Nope, it's a mystery. We are talking board games, and we are...
Psych.
Well, you know kind of who we are.
Yeah.
Besides the point, we today are looking at our top 5 worker placement games as part of our continual and apparently never-ending series of mechanics.
It is going on for quite a while.
And
to be fair, there was a month or two where we didn't put a few out.
To be fair, though, this is going on for quite a while.
We're catching up. We're almost done.
No, we're about halfway. A little over halfway.
Yeah, well, we're getting to the good stuff.
We are.
This is actually a list that
I'm
really excited about.
This is the good stuff we're getting to.
Today, we're doing our top 5. That's one for each of us.
Yes.
Worker placements. And I'm super excited.
Worker placement.
I will say I kind of sammed this list up a bit. The first few...
I was going to say, what do you mean sammed? I'm not familiar with that term. But I was like, oh, sammed.
The first few...
No, I gotcha.
They use it so minimally.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't even... Oh, you're right. It does have that aspect. Yeah. But I tried not to have a game... that was something else like dice placement, because I felt that was a different mechanism altogether, personally. Okay. And most dice placement games are not utilized the same as worker placement.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just my criteria. I viewed them as two different things.
I tried to stick with standard worker placement, but I may have cheated on one on my list, and for good reason. But yeah, worker placement, it's a pretty straightforward mechanic. You're right, there can be variations on it with placing dice. You might even call some sort of card game where you're playing cards. Kind of. If it's card driven, is it still worker placement? If the cards are determining where you're going and what you're doing? I don't
think so, because I feel like that's more action selection. Or
exactly. It kind of changes. Hand management kind of becomes...
Go watch that video.
But anyways, let's go ahead and start with our number 5.
Number 5. Would you like to go first? How about I go first this time?
Thank you.
I feel like I never get to go first.
I feel like
you're always
never,
forcing
no,
me.
I feel like you never...
You're always forcing me to go
option.
First.
Go first.
What do you want, Ben? What would you like?
I would like you to go first.
Okay.
Yes.
My number 5, and we'll start the cheating off real quick with Mombasa. Again, you wouldn't think of this as a worker placement game because the worker placement aspect is so minimal. And the worker placement aspect, again, we've talked about Mombasa quite a bit and how it, maybe we haven't, I don't know. But there's a lot to this game.
Yes.
There's so much to this game that you can't label it any one thing.
So what are you calling worker placement?
So in the bottom right-hand corner, there are actions that you can take that are worker placement actions. I go there, you can't go there. Things like getting first player and getting a bookkeeping point.
Yeah, you're really samming this thing up.
Yeah, I know. And it's not that I don't like worker placement. It's just that I love this game so much. And I like how the worker placement is utilized in this game. Again, it's very minimal.
Barely.
It is very barely.
It's doable to have a turn or a round where you don't even
exactly
do it.
But I think when you utilize that the most is when you start to benefit from it. And there are turns where it's like, I need to go there first because if I don't, they're going to score that. They're going to score their bananas or whatever. So I really like it.
It's a great game,
yeah.
If you're looking for a game that has worker placement, it is not worker placement. Suppose Mombasa is a good place to start.
Start the comments a-flowing.
My number 5 is Viticulture.
Viticulture. Never heard of this game.
No, you haven't. It's a worker placement game.
Worker placement.
What more can No, Viticulture is a really good game in that it's accessible.
Yes.
The action spaces are very straightforward. There's multiple spots there. Well, depending on player count. But there's multiple spots there to go to, so if you get beat there, it's not...
And it's tight without being, that just screwed up my whole game.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's very good as far as introducing people to the hobby go, but I I feel like your decisions are still meaningful.
Oh, very much so. And it can be deep enough, especially when you throw in the expansion.
Yeah, it gives a good mixture of strategy as you're planning long term, collecting the different wines, processing them, and then the tactical decisions you're faced each round with card play and whatnot. That
Yes.
typically you don't find a lot of card play in worker placement games, so it was refreshing to see.
But
that
it's interesting that you have to use a worker to play a card.
Yeah.
Like most worker placement cards, it's like, before I take my action, I'll do this.
In addition, yeah, no.
Yeah.
So it does some stuff differently, and like I said, it's accessible and it's a unique theme. So I enjoy it.
My number 4.
Tommy didn't leave much pause for my
I'm trying to cut as
he's making my
little,
editing job as difficult as possible.
Little time as possible. My number 4.
I'll make it work. Just go ahead. You're number 4.
My number 4, and this is the last of my cheating. And really, I think this is way less of a cheat than Mombasa is, but Le Havre. You still have those buildings, but it's interesting because I believe you only get one worker in Le Havre.
Yes.
There might be somewhere you get 2. No, never.
One worker.
Okay. Anyway, this is really interesting because it seems like to me every time I want to take an action, that one building is always taken. And
which is so ironic because in a 2-player game, there's only one other player.
Exactly. It's always... I've played this game. I've played this
building.
game with more than one player.
Yeah.
Mostly on the app. Actually, I don't think I've ever played the actual board game.
Yeah.
But I just love this game, and I love how the resources kind of evolve, and you're trying to get this machine going into... now I can produce iron, and now I'm getting smoked fish, and all these different kinds of resources.
Progression is really cool.
It really is, and the ships and everything, and I really, really like this game. And again, I don't feel like it's much of a worker placement because I feel like it splits that worker placement to that taking the piles. Like, you're not only doing worker placement on your turn.
Yeah, you're not forced to. You can just...
Well, there are turns where you can't. You either take an action on a building or you take from a pile.
Yeah.
And
I guess you could call it going to that location. Like, you could place your person there.
Yeah. But it's really not, because that worker's still stuck at that one spot.
No, I agree. It's a great game. It's probably... I don't know. You're right. The worker placement's so thin that I'd almost more call this an engine building game.
Yeah.
With worker placement as like a means to building that engine.
Right.
But
it still has that worker placement.
Yeah,
it utilizes it in such a tight way.
Had I thought about it more, it might have made my list, but not because it's not a bad game. It's because it's just a stretch.
Yeah.
Very nice. My number 4 is a game that I love mostly because of the thematic ties that they brought into it.
I think I know what you're going to say.
And their other game is also, it's Mind Clash, and the game by them is Anachrony.
Okay.
I would love to play this more, but the setup, it's a huge game, lots of pieces, sprawling. I feel like it's almost more work to set up the game than it is to play the game. But what they do with this futuristic, post-apocalyptic, sci-fi, save your population, evacuate before this meteor hits, time travel, loan yourself stuff in the future, pay. It's so cool. As far as Euros go, Mind Clash makes some of the most thematic.
Absolutely. But like bizarre thematic.
Yeah, they're not your run-of-the-mill themes.
Yeah.
So we've got Tricarion, which is your magician, a la Prestige, performing in, this urban London environment, collecting goods. And it's very interesting. I think I give the edge to Anachrony because it's a little bit smoother and cleaner.
Okay.
You haven't played with all the expansion stuff for Tricarion, but it was a task, let me tell you. But I loved it. It was great. But anyways, for what they do with theme, the worker placement is very straightforward. Sure. It's almost all it is just placing workers, collecting resources, and then converting them into, points and more useful stuff.
I remember this game being very cool. I remember finishing it.
That's almost the cool factor of
it. We were done, and I was like, wow, that game was so cool. And I was like head over heels for the game. Mm-hmm. I'm just finding myself not really wanting to play the game again.
Yeah. It comes with lots of modules, so you have a lot of replayability. The asymmetrical stuff they add into all their designs
almost seems like it's
really
too
cool.
much.
And see, that's why I say I have a hard time. Like, oh, do I really want to set this thing up? But the experience that you get thematically by playing it is something that you're hard pressed to find in other.
If the game was set up by the time I got to game night, I'd be like,
be very inclined to play
let's
it.
go.
Yeah, no,
Give me a quick rules run through. And
but that's Anachrony by Mind Clash.
yeah, good choice. Good choice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That was the pause I needed. Now we are moving on to number 3.
My number 3, and we're just going to go big here. The Gallerist is my number 3. I love Vital Lacerda. I love the way that he designs. Now, I don't love all of his games, particularly Kanban. Now, this was my first experience into Vital Lacerda, so maybe going back.
I think all the videos where we've mentioned the reasoning behind this have not made it to publish, but we played Kanban at, what was it, probably 5, 6 in the morning after playing games all night as part of a 24-hour game marathon.
Yeah.
And we had steam coming out of our ears while trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it was not enjoyable.
It may be something worth revisiting.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. But I love the Gallerist. I like how there's only 4 spots where you can go. But the choices that you have at those 4 different spots are pretty ridiculous. It's like, oh, I'll go here and I'll either get one of these 2 things. But it's the order in which you do it. It's how you approach the collecting artists' works and selling them. And
as far as worker placements go, this is... I don't think all worker placements fit this description, but this is a very puzzly worker placement.
Absolutely.
As you're puzzling together the order in which... Because you're right, there's not a lot of spaces. But it's the order in which you take them.
And you don't have to do it in the order that you initially think you would have to do it.
It's a lot of it has to do with opportunities that arise as you're going about your turns and whatnot. But yeah, it's very puzzly worker placement when you're just bouncing around these 4 various locations.
Yeah, absolutely love this game. Absolutely love this game. That's the Gallerist.
My number 3 is called Keyflower.
If it was any other key game, I would be a little...
No, it's Keyflower. I like what this game does with the uses of your meeples, your workers. How they are, different colors. So it's depending on what you have is going to limit you in what you can bid on.
Well, the different meeples are racist is what it is.
Okay. We'll
they don't want to work together.
Yeah, they're very inclusive.
Yes, exactly. Exclusive?
Inclusive of their own type.
Ah, yes.
Exclusive of other types. But as you're like, you want to try and keep a fair number of different workers, but the way you collect them is based off this auction, and you're winning stuff that, as they were used, and how the workers are shared. You can place them in other people's locations. But so you have like 2 levels of worker placement. You have like the bidding worker placement at the beginning, but then you have like the worker placement within your own town, but you can use other people's towns, but then they get those workers. It's very interesting what it does.
Even not only just the bidding for the tiles, but using those tiles before somebody has them.
Yeah. But then the person who wins the bid gets those workers.
Yeah.
So it's not... I don't want to call it thematic because it's not, but it's very interesting what they do with worker placement.
Okay,
and how
were
they
you
add
there
to it.
when the Mayflower arrived? This is exactly how
It's
it works.
like, whoa, you're using my farm. You're my slave now. No, I don't think of it that way. But it just does it differently, and it's very difficult to do worker placement differently.
Yeah, agreed.
It's something that's fairly straightforward.
Well, it's interesting that you can take the same action over and over and over again as long as you continue to add more and more meeples. So if I took the action already, now I have to pay 2 meeples to use that action again.
Of that same color.
Of that same color, exactly.
Which makes having
the strategy
a variety
there,
or a set. Yeah, depending
just
on what
the strategy there is enough to have a great game. Like, okay, I have to figure out, how I'm going to have enough to activate this 3 times, let alone go out and do all the other things I need to do.
It's like a puzzle within a puzzle.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
But Keyflower.
Yeah. Speaking of Keyflower, my number 2 is Keyflower. This game is just amazing. I love this game. I think it's absolutely, one of the cool... I love building the town, right? I love getting all the resources, and I don't know if I've ever actually won this game. I don't remember the game that we played together.
I didn't win.
if I won or not. Well, everybody knows that.
No shocker there.
No, but I this is kind of like that Seven Wonders feel for me. When I play Seven Wonders, every game for me is different.
Yeah.
I always try a different strategy. And with Keyflower, I can have that same enjoyment. I can do whatever I want to and have a good time, and I still get a bunch of points. And maybe I don't end up winning. Maybe I end up scoring the most points anybody's ever heard of.
Yeah.
But the way to get there is just so much fun. I love it
Agreed.
so much. It's one of my favorite games.
Yeah, it's if you didn't own it, I might.
Yeah. Best key game in my opinion.
Haven't played a lot of them, but
The ones I have played.
Seems to be the resounding answer, yes.
don't level up.
My number 2, this is my cheat.
Used it as your number 2.
Yes.
Come on.
I enjoy the game better, and based on enjoyment, it would be my number 1, but I don't want to have a cheat game be my number 1.
Sure.
It is Orleans.
Right? Yeah.
So, it's...
I think it was on the worker placement page.
But, so you can look at it almost as the stuff you're drawing from your bags are like cards, right? That's Altiplano is the same way. You could have a deck of cards, but the way that you're using your I don't even know what to call them, town folk, your villagers, whatever, your people that you're drawing from your bag, you place them on various locations to activate things, and the placement opportunities are immense. You know, your farmer can be used in 4 or 5 different places, but it depends on, did I draw my knight with him this turn? Okay, maybe I did, but I want to use him over here later, so I'm going to put him there and wait, and hopefully I draw my boatman next turn, so I can pair my boatman and my farmer for that. Where this doesn't really hit as a worker placement is you're not competing for the same spots with other people, but the way in which you are assigning your workers.
Right, and that was going to be my question,
tasks.
because I know Altiplano, you have your own board, and you're not competing with people at all, except for like the different things that are out. Yeah. But there is a common board, is there not?
But you're not placing anything to it. But depending on where you place, you can move up tracks and collect different things, and once the track empties or whatever, there's no more type thing. But I wouldn't consider that worker placement, because you're doing it through your placement.
You heard it from him. It's not a worker placement.
No. That's not what I meant. No, but I don't know. Maybe the more I think about it, maybe it's not worker placement. But
Ben's number 2, unexistent.
Sorry, we're just going to cut out of
It's kind of got like a reserve your spot worker placement. But the thing the reason why I would say this is not a worker placement is because you're not competing for everything. Yeah.
It almost errs more on the side of hand management, but the managing of your hand is you're assigning different things to locations, and how long they're there and when you pull them back type thing could be.
Ben's just trying to sneak this onto any list he can.
Guys, Orleans is a great game. Go out and buy it right now before it goes out of print again.
This one we're giving away for free.
That's my message to you. My number 2, Orleans. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
All right. On to our number 1.
The numero uno.
Oh my gosh. You said last time that we did 1, 2, 3.
Because I couldn't do the shoot, but this time I can do the shoot. I prepared myself mentally, physically.
You see what I have to deal with.
We're doing shoot. I'm proving to these people that I can do a full rock, paper, scissors shoot.
Okay. Shoot.
Shoot is right. I'm going to make you go first.
Because you already know what mine is.
I haven't thought about it enough, but maybe I do.
You know what it is.
Yeah. Well, then you better go first.
It's viticulture.
Bingo.
Love this game so much. Before I had gotten the expansion, I would say that this game was probably a 9 for me. With just Viticulture Essential Edition, it was really great. Maybe not even a 9. Maybe closer to like an 8, 8.5. With the expansion, though, with the Tuscany Essential Edition or whatever it's called, this game is amazing.
Yeah.
This game with the extended board, which I thought was just going to complicate things and be so ridiculous and not worth it. With the map where you're placing the stars, which I thought was even going to be like the worst thing ever. Why would you add that? It's so lame.
A little ridiculous.
Yeah. The buildings. the special workers.
This is one of those expansions that it's a big expansion, but it fits in so seamlessly.
Yes.
Like,
I do not want to play this game without it.
not just that, but you could almost teach it to people as a complete game, and they wouldn't like, oh wait, is this expansion content?
Yeah.
Like, it seems like it could have been there the entire time. Type
And that's how I taught my parents, was
yeah,
with just that.
it definitely increases the
Oh, for sure.
weight
Without
of the game.
a doubt. Yeah.
But like I said, it's not like, oh well, that's added on type
Right.
thing. Like
The map, I actually really like. It's like you're spreading your influence to these different regions. Like, hey, come see my wine, kind of thing. And
it's like, hey, I have some extra scythe tokens left over. That's fun.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
But I absolutely, this is just the best worker placement, and does it in the cleanest of ways. You know, it's different. It is. You have only 3 spots in a full player game. In a 5 to 6 player game, you've got only 3 spots to go.
Oh.
It's possible that it comes to you and that spot isn't available, but you still got your ground A worker. Not to mention that, but each space has a place where you can go, and you'll get a bonus from going there as well.
Yeah. Even just like the seasons is a whole new concept in and of itself.
Oh, the seasons are so cool.
You can save workers to use them later, but if, you could run out of spots and not. But you could use all your workers early in the first season, but then, it's like,
You have nothing for the winter.
I have nothing for
And when at the beginning of the
really.
game, when you have like no workers, where you have like 3 workers, you're like,
Yeah.
I guess I'll harvest and then my turn is done.
Yeah.
But my favorite part about the expansion is being able to move. When you get to the winter, you can pass your turn, and then you can choose your wake up order before other people go.
Yeah.
So you're not waiting till the end. Plus, you can also choose to go first based on if you go last in the previous.
Yeah.
If you get viticulture, you have to get Tuscany. It is a completely different game that is way better. It's actually the same, but it's different. Just get it. Trust me.
You are now thoroughly confused, but that's okay.
Get it.
Get it. I agree. My number 1. It is. I'm just gonna say it's a Feast for Odin.
Really?
Yeah.
That surprises me.
Doesn't.
It does.
Why?
I was trying to think of what it could be, and I don't know if it surprises me because I didn't think you liked it, or if it surprises me because I just haven't played it much with you.
Probably the latter. I love this game because I love games that are puzzly.
Sure.
If it adds any sort of spatial puzzle to it, that just kicks it up a notch. So any sort of tile placement or anything. But the spatial puzzle in Feast for Odin is just incredible.
Massive.
You're trying to fill in your board to avoid A, negative points, and B, get income, and C, reap these incomes of goods and stuff each
Right.
round. So you're trying to puzzle that together. But at the heart of it, it's a worker placement game with over 60 different places to place your people, which is just insane. But I love how they've done it to where each row of actions is fairly similar. So it's like, well, I can trade up 1 good with 1 worker. Next to that, the second spot is I can trade up 2 goods with 2 workers. But if I want to trade up 2 goods twice, I have to place 4 workers on that spot.
Right.
So you're managing your worker pool in a different way than you do in other worker placement games.
It's kind of like a Keyflower.
Kind
With
of.
that same.
So it's like I could take
elevation.
like 3 super power moves this turn by placing on 3 of the 4 worker spots. Or I could really have a really long, slow, drawn out turn by just using 1 and 2 worker spots. But overall, for me, the greatest thing about this is it's very sandboxy. So many worker placement spots give you so many options.
Yeah.
It's like, do I want to go whaling? Yeah, why not? Do I want to
Who
go
doesn't
hunting?
wanna go whaling?
Sure. Well, there's that island over there. You could settle that island. But then you got to fill it in with stuff. Yeah, let's do it. It's like, well, maybe some cows and some sheep might be nice. I'm going to raise some cows and sheep. And then I'll sell those off and goods. And there's just so much that you can do, and nothing is wrong. Like, you can't
Right.
play the game wrong. It's just a matter of choosing what you want to do and making the most of it.
I feel like that's maybe why I don't love the game, because everything you do, you're still going to get negative points. Like, it's like, oh man, what do I do to get rid of all of the, like, it's almost stressful. You're like,
Yeah.
I still got 50 negative points.
Right? And like it's got the whole feed your food people. Feed your food people.
Feed your food people.
That sounds like a horrible game.
It really does.
It's you got the whole feed your people type thing
With food.
but with food, yes. but it's very light. It's very easy. It doesn't seem difficult.
Better than Agricola.
Yeah.
Better than Caverna. And when I say better, I mean you're not like overly worked up about it because you're not going to be able to feed them.
It's just that constant pressure that the game kind of presents too.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's
Good game.
Really great game.
Good game. Good choice.
Those are our favorite worker placement games.
Yes.
Tell us what yours are.
Yes.
We've tried a lot. We have not tried them all, but we want to try more.
I've tried them all. I've played every single worker placement game.
Designed worker placement games.
Special shout out to Kalis.
Interesting.
I almost put this on my list. Almost.
It's a...
but it was just...
eyesore.
It's very classic.
Yeah.
It is an eyesore. It does have that, but it's... Tell us what you think about it. Thanks for liking.
It's more like a thanks, Grandpa. We couldn't have gotten here without you type thing, right?
No, I think that it holds up, actually.
No.
I don't think, I could have put it in place of Mombasa. But I liked how it was utilized in Mombasa better. And Kalis can be so mean. That when you think
Provost.
when you think of worker placements where you're like, you went there, I can't go there. That is Kalis to a T. Yeah. But thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Go check out our other videos.
We'll try and keep one of these coming up every Friday.
Yeah. So. And if you haven't heard, we do have a contest going on right now, a giveaway.
It ends Tuesday of next week. I'm like doing the calendar math in my head.
Yeah. What is it, the 22nd or something like that?
29th, I think. Because it ends the last Tuesday of May.
Yes.
And then we'll be announcing the winner on Thursday.
The following Thursday.
2 days later.
Yes, correct.
I hate calendars. Dates.
This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Trying to figure this out.
I can play through the ages, but I cannot calculate when 2 weeks from now is.
So go check out how to qualify for that. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
See ya.